Tess Crawley to present the occasional address. Dr. Tess Crawley began her professional life as an actor, writer and theatre company director in Melbourne in the 1990s. A chance meeting with a police scenes of crime officer, coupled with a love of crime fiction, led Tess to pursue studies in psychology. She returned to Tasmania and graduated from the University of Tasmania with a PhD in clinical psychology in 2004. As a clinical and forensic psychologist, Tess worked in prisons, community mental health settings and academia before launching the Crawley Clinic in 2007, which has since grown to include offices in Hobart, Launceston and Melbourne, with rural outreach around much of Tasmania and with a focus on workforce development. The Crawley Clinic has trained over 70 psychology students, interns and graduates since 2007. More recently, Tess has focused on supporting the well-being and the burnout prevention of other private practice owners around Australia. As a trained business coach to the private practice sector, she has trained, coached and otherwise supported over 1,000 private owners Australia-wide. Tess was named a Psychologist of the Year finalist in 2019 and in 2014 won the Allied Health Leadership and Management Award. Taking her career full circle, Tess is also an author of young adult crime fiction and was named a finalist in the Tasmanian Writers' Prize in 2024. I invite Tess to present the occasional address.
That sounded very impressive. Thank you very much. Little hint, I did write that. That's why how bios kind of work, isn't it? Right, look at your smiling faces. I am so proud, excited, nervous to be here. Deputy Chancellor, distinguished guests, my children and best friend also included in that category. University members, graduates, and families and friends, thank you for being here today. Little wish that you'll all bear with me for the next 5 or 6 minutes. We're going on a journey together. Okay. 1 pubic hair. Perhaps not what you thought we'd be here to talk about today, but life, careers, relationships, and yes, graduation speeches can take us by surprise. 20 years ago, I stood on a similar stage at the Sandy Bay campus to receive my PhD. My thesis topic, impulsive aggression and psychopathic tendencies in female undergraduates. That's what they did in 2004 as well. I remember feeling the odd mix of being finished, but at the same time being at the very beginning. It's an odd feeling, isn't it? And something I'm sure you're all feeling today, a little bit too. Because even though we're all here today to congratulate you on completing your studies, well done, your careers stretch before you like an unopened invitation to adventure. There'll be many times when you feel this novice feeling again as your career unfolds. Today, most of you are moving from accomplished student to novice professional. And of course, I also acknowledge those of you who are already experienced professionals. But that novice feeling is something that I'm sure you're all going to be sharing and feeling as the real world awaits. It's a transition that can feel utterly overwhelming once the blush of graduation celebrations start to settle, Christmas is out of the way and New Year's is done, and then there we are in the real world. But one day, and I promise it's before you know it, you'll feel like an old hand. Your reputation as a professional will be rock solid. And perhaps then you'll make another transition from accomplished professional to novice manager, or perhaps from skilled leader to novice business owner. Each of these growth explosions will surprise you, scare you, and highlight just how many elements of your maturing career were not covered by the university studies we're here to celebrate today. Some days you'll doubt yourself, but hold on to self-compassion in those times. And above all else, trust your instincts. They are what set you on this path in the first place. Don't be afraid of risk. Don't fear stepping outside of the box of others' expectations. And don't be afraid to innovate. And whatever you do, never waste your energy fearing judgment, especially from those not in the arena with you. On that note, just take a second to look around. See all those smiling, shiny, happy faces surrounding you? These aren't just your fellow students, your fellow graduates. These are your future peers, your future colleagues, your future mentors, maybe your future boss. It's time now to let the competitiveness of university studies fall away. Instead, embrace the spirit of collegiality. This will serve you much better, I promise. But I digress. Where was I? Instincts, risk, not fearing judgment. Yes, one pubic hair. So 30 years ago, I was speaking with a forensic scenes of crime officer about a case she'd worked many years before, a sexual assault. The suspect was smug, taunting even, because investigators couldn't find any physical evidence linking him to the crime scene. Passionate about her work, committed to the notion of justice for the victim, and let's face it, determined to stick it to this offender. But more important to this conversation, driven by a strong instinct, our investigator spent hours crawling around, searching through each strand of carpet at the crime scene until she found what she was looking for. You guessed it, one pubic hair, and it belonged to the suspect. Now, I could have chosen from thousands of stories from my varied career to share today to hopefully inspire you, so why do I tell you that story? As I said right at the start, life can take us by surprise in the most ridiculous ways. For me, that conversation with this forensic investigator was the final piece in a puzzle with no corners. A love of crime fiction, a family history involving crime and multi-generational trauma, a fascination with forensics, a need to understand human behaviour. It all came together in a simple understanding that something as innocuous as one pubic hair can change lives. And when we change lives, we change the world. So if all you take away from my speech today is those 3 words, one pubic hair, I hope it will act as a shorthand for you. I hope it will inspire you to follow your instincts, to take risks, to follow your passion, and to never be afraid of what others might think of you. Because life is full of unexpected moments that will lead you left when you thought you were heading right. This is a choose your own adventure, so keep your eyes open for those random moments and let your instincts be your guide. And congratulations, celebrate well, you've really earned it. Thank you.